They do a fantastic job. Mar-a-Lago, they do a fantastic job. We're feeding him, though, mostly Big Macs and McNuggets. They're incredible. You know, you eat that, you grow. Chris Christie knows a thing or two about what happens if you eat a lot, you grow. But he grows out. Barron grows up. He grows out, and it really is incredible. Chris Christie's waistline is expanding faster than his pole numbers. That's not a very good thing, believe it or not. It's not a very good thing at all. But when you're polling lower than your pant size, it's really not a good thing. And for Chris Christie, he's going to have to poll at over 100% to be bigger than his pant size, which is really something, which is something you can't do. But we're feeding him great things, and he's super tall. You see him; he's about 9 to 10 feet tall. He's a big kid, and we look at him, but we love him. He's a fantastic guy. We don't want him to be stuck with the inflation, so we have to stop printing the money. We gotta stop doing that.
Yes, I agree. Barron actually is growing vertical, while Chris Christie is growing horizontal. So that's the big difference. They are both growing, but one is up and one is horizontally.
Right. I
I
said
need to jump
Barron.
in here. I need to jump
Barron
in
is
here
growing
really
up.
quick.
Barron is growing up, and Christie is growing out. Go ahead.
I need to jump in here real quick. Sorry. I've been shaking with absolute rage for the last 7 minutes at the thought that a literal dinosaur is in here right now trying to say that you made the dinosaurs go extinct, and it is communist propaganda and it is yet another hoax. That's what it is. President Trump, welcome back. It is an honor to be here with you once again. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions like last time?
Go for it. Let's go. We're ready to go.
All right, let's jump right in. So your mugshot, the Mona Lisa of mugshots, it's been placed among the ranks of many other famous mugshots. Martin Luther King Jr., David Bowie, and your dear friend Frank Sinatra. How does it feel to be inducted into this masterclass of Hall of Famers?
Well, I think here's what we should really be doing. And unfortunately, some of these people can't answer that question. But if any of them were alive to talk about it, David Bowie is, a fantastic musician. Martin Luther King, wonderful guy. You know, you look at these beautiful mugshots, but they would be honored that I'm joining them. I'm not honored necessarily to join them, but they would be honored that I'm joining them. It's the Mona Lisa of mugshots. It's such a beautiful shot. It's a beautiful picture. Really, it's a fantastic picture. And I might have Hunter paint me a version of it. It might have to happen because he's a fantastic artist, according to so many people. I would say, listen, Hunter, you could paint me. You could paint a picture of me and you could use it for Democrat fundraising. Why would they say no? But it's because he can't paint the Mona Lisa. He's a terrible artist, actually. But when you look at it, being in their company, it's more like they're in my company. They're finally in my company. And it's a beautiful mugshot. Nobody's ever seen a better mugshot. And, the Fulton County Sheriff did a really wonderful job with that one. I have to tell you that.
Yeah, mugshots are like art. They're often imitated and they're never replicated. I see that CNN released yours, and it is quite beautiful. But everybody knows that no other president has been mistreated or abused like you, or faced down as much treason and this many hoaxes. Which of the 90 fake charges did you laugh the hardest at?
Well, I laughed the hardest at the charge that they slapped on me. This is a big one. I don't think you know about this one. There's 96 charges. There's actually 97 charges when you think about it. I got indicted for an overdue library book. Did you hear about that? It's an overdue library. No, they got me for an overdue book. Do you know what book it was? I don't think you know what book it was. Nobody wants to talk about it. It was Chris Christie's cookbook. It was so big and so long. It was almost as heavy as he was. And I was indicted for that. You believe that? I didn't return it because I couldn't finish it in time. People ask me, what are we feeding Barron? And he's growing up, as I said, and Chris Christie's growing the other way out. He's growing all around, but he's not growing up. He's a short guy, but he's a big guy. And he's a round person, I have to tell you that. But overdue library book, they got me for another one, too. Eating too much at an all-you-can-eat buffet. But Chris Christie hasn't been indicted for that. Isn't that terrible? It's really horrible to see what is happening at these charges. And then, of course, the boxes. You saw that, the boxes, so many boxes. Crooked Joe has so many boxes. And I had a box or two. He has 1,850 documents. He never gets indicted. So It's a hoax. It's a shame. It's a very terrible thing that they're doing to our country, indicting people over perfect phone calls. Nobody ever made a phone call like that. It's such a perfect call. It's a beautiful call. Nobody has ever had a better phone call than me. But I would say the worst thing they got me for was that overdue library book. I didn't think I was going to get in trouble for that, but they found it, and it's pretty terrible. It's a pretty terrible thing.
So speaking of overdue library books, and you were talking about Dr. Seuss earlier, who has better rhymes, Kamala Harris or Vivek Ramaswamy?
Well, at least Kamala Harris is original. Okay, Vivek did the rap in Iowa, beautiful place. It was a wonderful job that he did. I don't happen to think Eminem's a big fan of mine, but it's okay. Kamala Harris has a beautiful way with words, doesn't she? She has a fantastic way with words. She has a fantastic way when it comes to saying the same words over and over again in sentences. The community banks are an essential part of banking in the community. What fantastic analysis. The bus goes here, the bus goes there, because that's what buses do. Isn't that great? But her rhymes are original and, quite frankly, a little funnier than Vivek. But Vivek is doing a wonderful job. He did a fantastic job on the stage yesterday in the debate, even though nobody was watching it because they were watching the Tucker Carlson interview. Fantastic job. But Vivek Ramaswamy, Kamala Harris, I'm going to have to say this. I think Kamala's rhymes are better because they're so ridiculous, they're actually funny.
Yeah, Eminem keeps writing you, but you still ain't calling. He wrote some letters back in autumn. I something like that. But you talked about scouting out your vice president at the debates last night with Tucker because, quote, you see in the polls that have come out and you're leading by 50 or 60 points, and some of these have 0 or 2 points. So would you compare your would-be attendance to these debates more to bullying the dumbest kid in summer school or running up the score at a youth football game?
Well, it would probably be running up the score at a youth football game. You know, we don't do violence. We don't want to bully people. But when you play football, you play to win and you score as long as there are points on the clock. You look at the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, fantastic coach, wonderful job. Tom Brady, another guy I happen to get along very well with. Tom Brady, when he played for the Patriots, they called him the GOAT. They called me that the same thing too, the greatest of all time. That's what it stands for. And they never stopped scoring points. They never stopped scoring points because they didn't just want to win. They wanted to win bigly. You know about it. That was their motto: win bigly, win bigly. And they knew all about it. They played the Jets a lot. They used to kill them, and they still do, quite frankly. But I would say running up the score at a youth football game, which was like watching the Patriots play the Jets. Really, it was usually the same thing. But you see this, and running up the score is what I would have done on the stage. I'm already up by 40 points. That's a lot of points. They would say you don't have to score anymore. So I actually did a nice thing by not going because it would have hurt those people. I showed compassion. I showed restraint. I never do that. I showed restraint. And I didn't participate because I don't need to participate because the game is already over. The game is already over. And quite frankly, it's a landslide already. And it's going to be the first of many to come when it comes to landslides, believe me.
I believe you. The deep state's about to blow a 25-point lead. So we all know, everybody in this room knows that you won the debate, even though you weren't there. But who would you say came in second?
Technical difficulty. Sorry, the Russians got me. Sorry about that. Who came in second? I won the debate. Who came in second? Probably Vivek Ramaswamy did a fantastic job. You know, you saw Little Meatball